Well, everyone, iOS 18 has just came out, and One UI 6 has been out for a minute. We're on One UI 6.1, but I wanted to kind of break down some of the differences between these two versions of software and kind of see which one is a better one for you. Now, there are still lots and lots of differences between iOS and Android, and there's stuff that both do pretty well that I actually like a lot, but I will still tell you there's not really one that's way better in my personal opinion. The big things within iOS 18 is that we have some new customizations within our home screen. We can now do what Android has been able to do for a while, which is like move applications wherever we want to on the screen. And we can also go through and change our app icon colors and so many things like that. The theme engine on iOS 18 still needs to be improved a little bit, but it's better than what iOS 17 was. On One UI 6, the theme engine is significantly better. So if you hold down on an application, you can go through, you can kind of change out a lot of different things that you want to, or you can hold down on the home screen and you can go and choose different themes. You can change your wallpaper and style right here. The color palette of your particular applications you can also change. And it is actually I think it's a nicer experience on One UI 6 so far than on iOS 18. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but that is kind of one thing. Like if you're going through and wanting a more themable device or a more customizable device, it's still going to be on your One UI 6 device, in my personal opinion. I will also say though, the control centers have changed quite drastically this time around. So you can see on One UI 6 and on iOS 18, there are some slight differences here. So if we go and take a closer look, you can kind of see what else is going on. So we now have power buttons that are very similar. They are in the top right corners on both, which is very nice. You're getting the same type of information, but you're still getting more toggles that are supported on something like One UI 6 than on iOS 18. For example, if I click up here and if I kind of just go through here and click on the edit button right here, you'll still be able to see that for the most part. There's still going to be more control center options available on something like a One UI 6 device than on iOS 18. So that's just something that's kind of happened time and time again. That's kind of what we see. And I think personally for me, that's just one thing that happens. I think over time, we're probably going to see more customizing options, but that was just another thing that kind of stood out to me. But if I had to pick one, I actually do kind of like how iOS 18, their control center looks. I feel like on One UI, in general, although you can have more toggles and more stuff just kind of laying around, I kind of do like the way that the toggles on iOS kind of look a little bit more than on Android. But that's just me. That's just the way the theme kind of looks. I feel like if I had to pick one, I feel like there's so much going on inside of Android, and I feel like on iOS it's a little bit more cleaner, but still, both are very, very similar in a lot of different ways. Now, when it comes down to the whole entire AI features within Apple Intelligence, this was another big thing that we saw. Now, unfortunately, my iPhone 13 Pro doesn't have it, but Apple Intelligence brought a lot of cool stuff to the table, which was actually very, very cool. And it brought the capability of having just so much AI stuff within our particular device. And that in and of itself is actually a very, very cool thing going on for these particular devices. So I thought that in and of itself was a very, very cool thing. iOS, kind of, I think, took in some inspiration from Galaxy with Galaxy AI. So Galaxy AI was this other cool thing that Samsung made earlier this year, which is a subscription model. And within One UI 6, I think it debuted, but regardless, it's here. And this is also another cool thing. That's like their AI suite of tools. And within Galaxy AI, it does actually give you a lot of cool stuff. It gives you a lot of capability. And I'm actually very, very excited about Galaxy AI because I think it's really cool. But I do think, once again, for the average person, it's not really something most people will probably pay for. And I do think if you're just going through and just using a device on an everyday basis, you're probably not going to use it. And you're definitely probably not going to spend money to go and use that type of capability either. So I think that was another big thing that kind of stood out to me. Now, another cool thing between both these phones have some sort of eye tracking capability now, which is really cool. There's a lot more customizing options, like I mentioned before, but I don't know if there's one that's like way better than the other one. I think both these updates were very good, and I'm very, very happy with the way both these updates kind of brought. I still think, there's a lot of similarity. You still have game mode on them. The Photos app on both these were a little bit changed. You now have RCS support on both these phones. I think the biggest thing too, you now have the capability of like locking applications natively inside of iOS 18. Whereas on Android, I think you have to download apps and do all that other stuff. But you can natively lock an app inside of iOS 18, which is actually very, very cool. So overall, those are kind of the big differences between iOS 18 and One UI 6. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.